welcome to another episode of Stuck in My Mind podcast. My guest today is a pioneer in transformational wellness with nearly 30 years of experience guiding people through deep, meaningful change. She's the founder of Microdosing for Healing, a global community that has supported more than 1,400 people across 30 countries through international and earth-based practices designed to help individuals reconnect with themselves and move toward greater clarity and balance. She is known for her down-to-earth yet spiritually rich approach to wellness, helping people explore personal growth through conscious practices and supportive community. She also leads a professional training program equipping the next generation of facilitators to bring thoughtful and intentional support into modern wellness spaces. Today we're diving into healing, transformation, and what it really takes to reconnect with yourself in a world that often keeps us disconnected. Welcome to the show, Kayse Gehret. Oh, the pleasure's mine. Thank you for being a guest. I appreciate the time. So we're gonna jump right into it.
Let's do
So
it.
you, I don't. From looking at you, I don't think, but this is you spent nearly 30 years helping people transform their lives. What, what,
Actually, I crossed the threshold. I'm in my 31st year. 31st year.
wow.
Yeah.
What first led you into this work?
Oh gosh. As a child, honestly, I wanted to be in a healing profession as a young child. I thought I wanted to be a doctor. So I was on a very traditional path to be a doctor. I did all the studies. I studied pre-med in college. And then when I was a sophomore in college, I heard a voice, which was odd then. It's not odd now. That told me to move cross country to California. I grew up in Pennsylvania in a little town called Easton.
Oh,
And
it's okay. So I live in Tobyhanna. Um, I live in the Poconos. I live in the Poconos, so I know where Easton is. Easton is towards Allentown and that area.
yep, you know exactly where it is. Yes, I grew up with going to the Poconos. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I when I was 19 was led to move cross country. And when I did that, very quickly met one of my mentors, who was a Reiki master, studied energy medicine with her, and went down a completely different path in quote unquote alternative medicine. Went into body work, energy work, somatic work, which has just evolved in many years since. Had much growth in those time, and have now been in the field for 31 years.
So you said since a child, this has been something like you've wanted to heal people and everything. What do you think was that? Where do you think you get that from? Is there anyone in your family who's similar, or is that just something you just feel like this has been your calling?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like a lot of us, my family had challenges growing up. I lost my dad when I was 7 years old to suicide. So I had an early young interest in psychology and kind of the human health, the human mind. And so that was part of it. But I also think, too, we all come in with like a certain blueprint and path and kind of purpose for being here. And I'm very grateful that I kind of knew what I was here to do pretty young.
So when you first started exploring these practices, what challenges or skepticism did you encounter?
That's a great question, because I think especially 30 years ago, going from a very conventional, respected path to one that no one really knew about or was quite fringe. I struggled with that a lot in my 20s. I think all young people do, kind of getting their bearings, but especially when you're in a field that doesn't command professional respect, a lot of people don't know what to make of it, which was energy work and body work. In a lot of ways, then kind of going through that experience prepared me for the work I do today, which is working with psychedelics and natural medicines. And so I'm very used to kind of working with modalities that are kind of cutting edge and futuristic, and that people are kind of coming into and benefit by a lot of education around.
Absolutely, yeah. Sometimes natural remedies are much more. Um, because people think, right, because you hear all these drugs that they give to these people, and then real quick they'll tell you all the side effects. Like you'll see it, like so they'll just be like a blur. What the heck? So it's important that people do look into natural healing and speak and talking and finding out how can they really truly find how to balance what's going on in their body.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity. I mean, it's conversations like this that are the most meaningful, most important conversations we're having and platforms, because traditional media, the big mainstream media is just so dominated at this point by corporate interest and pharmaceutical interest. I don't really watch television. And so whenever I travel and I'm in a hotel room, I'm like, let's see what the folks are watching. And I'm just stunned. Like, it's just pharmaceutical. It's like a pill and a shot and a pill and a shot and a pill. And then, like you said, this litany of side effects, right? That you just cross your fingers and hope you feel better and you don't, suffer greater things from the side effects. So it's really maddening when people discover that, simple herbs, plants, and mushrooms can heal so much, so naturally and in such a lasting way. So yeah, I appreciate you in this.
Oh no, thank you. So when you first started exploring these practices, what challenges or skepticism? Because I know people can be skeptics at first. What did you encounter?
Oh, well, in this particular work, so if folks are listening and they don't know what microdosing is, so microdosing is taking small sub-threshold amounts of, I work with psilocybin mushrooms, also known as magic mushrooms, but you can also microdose other psychedelics as well, other plants and LSD. So obviously, if you're of a certain age, I'm a Gen Xer. And so I grew up kind of in the heart of the Just Say No, the Reagan years,
Mm-hmm.
all of the stigma around, you'll lose your mind, it'll damage you, it'll impact you. So I kind of grew up with that condition. And then on top of that, I had a grand mal seizure disorder. So I was really, really cautious around all the stigma around, quote unquote drugs experience. So when I did so, that's why microdosing was really appealing to me. This was why I did sub-threshold. I wasn't going to trip. I wasn't going to go anywhere. It was almost like a supplement. I treated it as, and not only did I not damage my brain was healed thanks to it. So my seizure disorder cleared immediately when I started microdosing. And also just my nervous system capacity within a few weeks was quite different than it was prior to. So yes, received a lot of stigma, but I've been doing this work now 6 years, and it's been really amazing and heartening. As even 6 years ago, very few people heard of it. But now today, I rarely hear stigma. I hear much more curiosity and questions around it than I do stigma.
Well, because with how YouTube and everything is, that there's way more access to information and people are curious. Like before, like you said, it was difficult, right? Because yes, we had social media, but like not the way it is right now. Like even in the 6 years, right? It's not like how it is right now, where you can really, if you can really make an impact on with certain messages, and there are ways that people kind of like they need to hear your message in a way. Like for me, I know it's important for them to hear what you have to say, because we're uh, we're so reliant on these big pharmaceutical companies providing relief for us, and all they're doing is leading us down the rabbit hole to continue to be clients. And so it's important for me to have a platform where someone like yourself could come and really express different alternatives, because there are alternatives out there to just going and getting these drugs from big pharma.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the biggest misconceptions I hear today, like so many more people have heard of it, but because people are conditioned by the pharmaceutical system, right, where you take this pill to get this effect, mushrooms and microdosing work so different in that it's really igniting your own innate healing. So you're not becoming dependent on mushrooms. Like I was so curious, like once I had this healing and experience, I was like, okay, if I stop microdosing, are my seizures going to come back? Are my headaches going to come back? And they never did. And so over time, it's just a completely different mindset where you heal with the assistance of microdosing, but you're not reliant upon microdosing like you would be a pharmaceutical medication.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of these drugs they're like, oh, you have to be on it for the rest of your life. Like, no, there's alternatives. They just don't want us to know, and they want to continue to mislead us with misinformation sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So what when someone begins their healing journey, what is the biggest misconception they usually have?
I think we've been trained and conditioned to think that healing happens through our mind, right? Like we think if we think about it all the time and we figure it out and we talk about it over and over and over again, like what happened to us in our story, we've been conditioned that that's what healing looks like. When healing is actually, yes, it's mental, but it's also physical, it's also spiritual in nature. It's also energetic in nature. So it's not just talking about what happened to us and understanding it, it's also moving our energy, clearing trauma, clearing density, connecting with ourself, connecting with our spirit, feeling safe in our environment. There's so many other factors that we're kind of reawakening to. So it's new for people. Like we're so conditioned that like talking about our issues and taking a pill is the way, but we can actually just by connecting with the earth again, getting regular sunlight again, getting living foods diet, and working with nature, we can achieve healing much faster, much more cheaply, and also in a lasting way.
So you've worked with 30 plus with people in 30 plus countries. Are the struggles people face around healing surprisingly similar across cultures?
Yes, yes, yes. I love working internationally, especially right now, because there's so much division and in our leaders, right? That's driven that it's so beautiful and healing to connect with people around the world right now because we are really all the same. Like all of us really want the same thing. Um, and what's been beautiful working internationally, so for many years I worked in California where this stuff is just kind of normal, right? You're kind of surrounded by it. And so it's really been beautiful to work nationwide and in other countries where it's not that usual and people don't necessarily have opportunity to connect with community where they can freely talk about their mystical experiences or their spirituality or their healing process openly and really be supported and celebrated in that. So it's really a gift to work with people in other countries.
Mm. so so what role does intentional practice and mindset play in transformation?
Everything, everything. I think, especially when you're working with psychedelics and mushrooms, is to think of them as in the field we call them non-specific amplifiers. So essentially, it just makes more and more. Right? It's kind of like money. It just makes you more of what you already are, right? And so it amplifies things. That's part of how it heals. It kind of makes things more clear, makes things more honest, makes things more apparent. And so essentially, when you're working with these medicines, it's going to orient you and amplify you in the way that you kind of train yourself to do. So it's very different. Say, you can microdose on your own and you'll probably have some good results and good benefits. But if you work in tandem with a community, a partner, with a guide or a coach, a therapist, depending on what you're up to in your life and what your intentions are, it really amplifies what you do. So it's a beautiful time to institute like new habits, new practices, new awarenesses. When you work with these medicines, it really expands your perspective of life and possibility. So if you're just kind of staying in your old routines and your old habits, you're not really harnessing the potential of the medicine. So, in all of our programs, we work with people to create their intentions and also kind of the lifestyle practices that are going to support those intentions simultaneously.
Mm. So why do you think so many people feel why people today feel disconnected from themselves?
Oh gosh. That I think that is the fundamental thing underlying so many of our issues. So many of our issues. It's a disconnection from each other. It's a disconnection from the earth and the natural world. And most of all, I think it's a deep disconnection to self. Um, and I think that's what like secretly is drawing to people. I see a lot of people beginning to practice and they don't even really know. A lot of them say like, I don't know what this is really, but I'm drawn to it and I can't say exactly why. And I do. I think it's this awakening to connecting with yourself, connecting to a larger purpose and path that is kind of within us. And we just need some help to kind of access that. I think we're so disconnected because there's a lot of forces in our world that want to keep us disconnected. I think I can turn on the television and it's obvious. It's like it's a pill or it's alcohol. It's a pill or alcohol. Lots of numbing, lots of obeying, lots of not questioning. And so the more disconnected we are, we're easier to control. And the more awakened we are and conscious we can be creative in our lives, connected in our lives. So to me, I hope that's the future.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's really important that we do focus on it's just like we were talking about earlier about when watching TV and stuff like that. Like I barely watch TV. Like I'm focused more, and if I do watch something, it's in it has to do with content creation or something. Like I don't watch the news. It's to me it sucks. They're not providing anything that's encouraging. So to me, I focus more on producing content that's uplifting and inspiring and motivating. And so that's where that's where I focus on my energy is trying to connect with the right people.
Yep. That's the way. I do. I think it's really important right now that we kind of create our own algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
Our own personal algorithm. Because as soon as we go on TV or as soon as we go on screens, everything is conspiring to kind of create this mindset, create this worldview. And when we intentionally create it for ourselves and kind of train our attention and where our energy and focus is going, it's incredibly powerful right now.
yeah. No, it's to that's why to be honest, that's why I've created like some like I have my own internet radio station right now that I've launched years ago, and right now I'm just going back and I'm reworking it because now I'm strictly going to focus on talk radio, and so, but it, I didn't know anything about running a station but it was just like no, I want to create a platform that's mine, and I can give opportunities to other people who want to create talk shows or whatever, and just make sure that the topics that is being put out is important to me and the people that I work with. So right now I'm still in the process of getting shows and everything, but I've gotten so many people who want to be connected with the program, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to relaunching it and being able to provide content that's positive and uplifting.
Amazing. Love it. Love it. Good for you. I mean, that's the future. I think the future is us creating what we want, which is independent, free media
Hmm.
that's uncensored, it's authentic, and it's positive, it's contributive. Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, you. it's like, yes, I'm on YouTube and I'm on these different, like right now I'm streaming to 5 different platforms, and it's all great. But I also have my site that I'm creating where if anything happens and I can't be on any of these platforms, then I can direct them to my radio station or whatever it is that I own, that is mine, and no one can tell me what I can play or who can be on there. So yeah, being able to have that freedom is awesome.
Well done.
So if you also train facilitators, what qualities make someone effective in guiding others through healing work?
Yeah, beautiful question. I have a lot of people. So we're in our third cohort of the training right now. And when we started it last year, I was so curious, like who is going to come to this? Is it going to be existing healing professionals? Is it going to be clinicians and doctors? Is it going to be regular people who just want to serve their community? And it's been absolutely all the above. Absolutely all the above. So really diverse, lots of different ages. We've had 20 somethings to 70 somethings, all different backgrounds. We've had plenty of psychotherapists and doctors and clinicians, but also lots of just regular people with corporate jobs, other jobs, work at small businesses, entrepreneurs who had really profound healing in their own life from the medicines. And they want to support the people, their family, their friends, the people in their community similarly.
Mm, awesome. Excuse me. If someone is listening feels stuck emotionally or spiritually, what is the first step towards healing?
First of all, just the inspiration that you're having, that feeling is a lot in and of itself. I think is I work with so many people, like I said, who they've done a lot of other things. You know, they've done therapy, they've done programs, and they're like, I'm good. Like, I'm at an okay place. But if I kind of look ahead and the next 40 years is feeling like I feel now, that's not good enough. That's not good enough anymore. And so they're like, I don't really know where I'm going, but I'm open to doing something different that will help me really feel more vital, feel more alive in my life. So that's the first step. I think just if I'm having the awareness, like this isn't good enough anymore, and I'm feeling kind of plateaued where I am, is just the first step. I think for a lot of people, the next first step is getting into your body again, like reconnecting with your body. And that'll be different for so many different people. But I notice that's one of the most powerful complements in lifestyle practices when people are microdosing is for some people it's massage therapy, for some people it's Pilates, some people it's just getting out in nature, walking your dog every day. It's reconnecting with yourself from the head down. Right, we can really exist just from here up, a lot of us. And so getting yourself back in your human body, reconnecting with that is also too, I think, is the first step for people to access their spirituality and connection to source within.
Mm, yeah. So what daily practices help people stay grounded and connected to themselves?
So hugely important this year. So between like what's going on in the news every day, our society is going to be changing so much in the coming years. I think these kind of practices and cultivating these practices in your daily life is going to be so important. For a lot of people, it's going to be the thing that makes the difference. I think a lot of people are feeling so unmoored and disoriented, whether it's the reality of what we're seeing, the changes with AI, so many people's professions shifting and changing. I think having a daily practice, whether it's microdosing, it's meditation, it's daily walks, it's daily prayers, whatever that calls to you, kind of cultivating that inner center, that inner balance, that inner connection to self is, and it can be like 10 minutes a day. It will make all the difference. So I think having something to anchor yourself to that is within yourself in a dramatically changing world is going to be so grounding and really help you navigate the changes ahead.
Mm. So, what does true transformation actually look like over time?
Beautiful question. My favorite kind of transformation is the kind that sticks. So I think that's why I like gentle work and subtle work. I love energy work and body work and microdosing work because it's, while it accrues slowly, you can integrate it into your real life, into your real relationships, and it almost kind of sneaks up on you. And so I work with a lot of people, while it's not dramatic, like you don't have a 6 week experience. Well, some people do, but you don't necessarily have a 6 week experience and then you're completely different at the end of 6 weeks. Typically, what happens is you practice for 6 weeks, you continue, you deepen, you take breaks, you deepen, and then all of a sudden, like a year later, you're like, wow, I'm very different. Like, I'm very different. I'm making very different choices. I'm magnetizing different opportunities and different invitations to different people into my life. I'm handling life's curveballs very dramatically different than I used to. That's a big popular one I see, is people having life stuff come up and they're like, wow, like me 2 years ago, I would have been completely derailed. I would have spiraled. I would have gone into a depression, all my old patterns, and I'm not doing that this time. So that's the kind of transformation that I love to see when it really impacts somebody in the totality of their entire life.
Yeah, I can imagine being able, because even with with the podcast and the growth that I've had to just where I started from, because I didn't have a background in media or anything, so I had to really go in and learn and find myself. I really try to find myself and who am I and what I wanted out of the podcast, and it's been such a wonderful journey to really explore these conversations and really get to discover so many different natural ways of healing yourself, right? Because it's been a time where we've been so dependent on all these drugs and all these different things, and they've taken away the natural stuff away from. But now to see people like yourself come and deliver such, I don't it, to me it's to deliver such natural healing, right? Like where it's so important that people learn that natural healing is out there. And so I my hats off to you for what you're doing, and all and all the wonderful work, man. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you being candid. I mean, I think it's daunting to people sometimes when you're so starting out, especially if you're in like a state where you look to someone else and you're like, they are so far away. Like, I can't see myself getting to where they are. And I think it's important now, no matter what we're doing, is to share it wasn't always this way. Right. Right. And I can say the same thing. Like, I was always in my previous life in healing, I had healing art studios. I was always behind the scene. I was like promoting a lot of other people, but I was never the front. And so when the pandemic happened and I lost my studios, I had to shift gears and start offering different work online, and I was so bad at it. I was so bad at it. My first Zooms, I mean, I see them sometimes coming across my like meta memories, and we laugh because they're so comically bad. But like you said, you learn and you grow, and I think that's a big message of this year is no matter how tiny you think the step is, the most important thing is just taking a step, right? And you build confidence by doing. You don't get confidence by talking about it or dreaming about it. Like, this is the year to like start to take the steps and have a sense of humor and know that all, like every single person you see, started and went through exactly what you're going through now, but just take that first step.
And yeah, so those first few steps are the most difficult, right? Because they're the most and like if you don't have that support, right, where you have someone like helping you continue to take those steps further to help you push you along, because yes, people talk, oh, I did it by myself. Not, but I know I wouldn't have been able to get through some of my darkest times without support from some very important people in my life. And so I'm me and my nephew, we have this thing, we are the village, right? Because that's what we believe. That's what we believe, and that's our belief is. We that's how we were raised. Like you, I'm a Gen Xer, and we were raised in a village, right? We were raised in the community where people looked out for each other, and we've kind of gotten away from that. Like honestly, I can I don't know. I don't think I know three. The most I probably know is two of my neighbors, and that's just saying hi and bye. Like no real relationship with them. Back when I was growing up, like I knew I had a hope. Like we knew that each other, like parents knew each other, and the community was so much different. But now with online and with everything, being able to now build that community now virtually and connect with like-minded people and people that can help you along your journey now. It's amazing now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I totally agree. Back in 2016, I have a lot of seers and clairvoyants and psychics in my life. And I remember back in 2016, I was going through like a rough, like really despairing stretch where it just seemed like people who, like you said, like neighbors who just, people who just cared about each other, were becoming the minority in our society. Just the basic like politeness and care and generosity people used to show each other seemed to be disappearing.
Mhm.
And I remember I took that to one of my clairvoyant friends, and she was like, "Case, like throughout time, across epochs, across history, it's never been the majority that creates change. It's always the minority." And there comes a tipping point where the minority, there's enough of the minority that comes together. And then all of a sudden it's exponential and change happens. And part of, since that time, just watching how things have happened, where the pandemic kind of pushed us all online and we were kind of forced to close our local businesses and move out to more expansive networks and communities, is that's the gift of, our mycelium now, is being able to connect with people, not because it's based on a neighborhood or an institution. It's based on a consciousness and a connection
Yeah.
of like-minded people around the world. So I hold that advice she gave me 10 years ago very closely right now, because remembering that it doesn't take a majority, and even when we think we're so outnumbered, we're actually not.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's been, um, yes, the reason we got pushed online, it was, yes, it was, and it was crazy. I lost a lot of people but it also gave an opportunity to regular people like myself to create a platform and do things and challenge myself and make myself uncomfortable and do something that I wasn't I wasn't in media. I didn't have a radio show. I didn't do any of that. That wasn't I played sports. I am a pit boss in a casino. That was so to go from there to where I'm focusing more on helping people improve themselves and talking to all these coaches and learning and growing. It's leading me in a different direction, but I still got to pay the bills, right? So
Yep.
I still got to pay the bills. So I still got to go. I got my job, but in the process, I'm able to do this. I'm able to to launch a production company, launch a book publishing company, launch an internet radio station, like doing all these different things, like building my own media company, like truly building my own media company and from scratch, like not having the experience, not knowing it. But it's like, it was like when the pandemic hit and I was home, I was furloughed from work, and it was like, all right, what am I gonna do? All right, let's create this. All right, what am I gonna do? All right, let me create this. And just me and my nephew just started creating. So like, he had already written a book when he was in prison, and when he came out, we worked on getting his second book published, and now he has 4 books, right? And being able to help him put those books out and put his life and change his life for the better, right? Like, yes, he served his time, and he's built the business. He's a self-published author. Like, to see that growth and see that transformation is like, it's amazing. It just inspires me to do what I have to do and build what I have to build.
Inspiring. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think exactly what you just walked. I think that's the future. No, I think we're rapidly becoming disenchanted with our traditional leadership structures, right? And I think ultimately, like, we're stepping into this time where it's just regular people standing up. I remember when I was in Northern California, I was in one of the towns where my studios were was hit by the wildfires in Northern California, and a lot of our community was impacted. A lot of our clients lost their homes. And I remember in the aftermath of that, when there was just like chaos going on, it wasn't the authorities that stepped in and took leadership. It was just regular people. It was regular people stepped up. It was like kindergarten teachers and a librarian, and they just kind of just stepped up and did what was necessary, started moving goods around, moving people around, making shelters for people. And it was just a really beautiful, inspiring microcosm of, I think, what the future is going to hold of just, I don't know how to do a media company, but I'm just going to take the next step and take the next step, and I'll figure it out as I go. Yeah.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm a kid from East New York, Brooklyn. Like, what do I know about running a media company? What do I know about publishing books? What do I don't know. I didn't know any of that. Like, that wasn't my lane. But here I am. Like, I have a podcast that's doing pretty well. I'm having some wonderful conversations. I've been able to build some amazing friendships. It's like this whole new world, basically, right? And like, the world just opened up so much more, right? Like, now I have friends from literally all over the world, like people I keep in touch with frequently, like, so it's just been just a crazy ride to really build something that I didn't know I was capable of. I didn't know I had this in me to go out and try and go out and start a media company. Like, I'm a kid from Brooklyn. I don't, I don't, I don't know. I don't know anything about any of this.
I think
So,
it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. And I think it is the most inspiring thing to see another person do, because it's not that you're going to go do what they did, but I do think it lights something within you
mhm.
that you can do your thing. It helps give people permission, and to move from kind of needing permission to becoming empowered and taking action in your life toward your dreams. I think that's one of the most powerful things, is seeing somebody else do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, this has been awesome. This has been great. And we've come to the part of the show where you get the screen and you get to plug away and you let people know where they can find you. And yeah, so I
Plug
mean,
away. I'll plug away. Yeah, no, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. Like I said, it's my favorite way to share, overcome the stigma, welcome questions. I love working with beginners, so welcome. Yeah, I'm super easy to find at www.microdosingforhealing.com. We have lots of different access points and different forms of education. So if you're new to practice, you'll feel really well supported. I'm also on all of the media platforms out there. So my name is spelled very uniquely, so I'm pretty easy to find. If you search for me, Kayse Gehret. And yeah, thank you so much for being here and for listening.
thank you, Kayse, for being such a great guest. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
But don't leave just yet. Let me just close out the show and we'll chat a little bit off the air. But thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Another great episode is in the books, man. I want to thank Kayse for joining us today and sharing her insights on healing, transformation, and intentional wellness. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure you subscribe to Stuck in My Mind podcast. Leave us a review. Share this episode with someone who could benefit from hearing it. And don't forget to check out everything we're building at Real Wise Global Media. And as always, you know what Wize does it. Peace out.